There are definitely a few things I love about Austin. Um, everyone says this, but it definitely does just have a different culture than other places around it, especially in Texas. It's a culture that's, I think, very aware of the fact that there are important things in life. Not everyone really understands what they are, or definitely doesn't agree on them. But you even see it in just the ways that people in Austin take care of the city. We have things like the Green Belt and Zilker Park, and just these places that we really care about. People here take a lot of pride in their city. And I think there's just an awareness that of the idea of value, and people are seeking that. They're seeking something to take value in. I think that's one of the things I like about the city.
Oh my gosh, I love so many things about Austin. I don't even think I can pick one. I love the city. I think it's great. I love that there's so many things to do. I love Zilker and Town Lake and everything. I love the people. I think they're awesome. I think there's a lot of weird people, but I think that's what makes Austin fantastic.
What I most love about Austin was probably the fact that they had like city stuff and a lot of nature stuff to do in the same area. I love that.
I just love how it's such a different place. It's so unique. There's not really many places in this country like that where you can really feel like you can be yourself.
I love the people. I love how everyone's quirky and weird. I love the
Green Belt so much. I don't want to leave it. And I love Lady Bird Lake. And I love all the food, and I love all the music, and I love UT football, and I love the airport. I love everything.
This might sound cliche, but I really, really like Austin's weirdness. I like the really, really quirky atmosphere that's in Austin.
I kind of love everything about Austin. I really like the weather. I really enjoy the culture. It's super unique, super different than anywhere else I've ever lived. It really takes pride in itself.
I think generally Austinites like each other and like their city, and that's a really cool vibe. And a bunch of people who value where they live, and they want it to be pretty and want it to be full of good food and music and everything like that.
I don't know, it's home. I just love it.
And Austin is just really special also because there's just a lot of freedom here for Christians and for people who aren't following Jesus yet. Like, there's freedom to be who you are and to figure out who you are, and that's why, I guess that's why this trip's so important, is like, people come to Austin to find themselves, and like how great would it be if they came to Austin and found Jesus, and like that's their identity is, like, that'd be really exciting. So yeah, I love Austin.
Aaron Wright crossed with Ben.
But I did think things up. I am excited for this trip. I think mostly because of like the intensity of spending a bunch of time together. I think I told a bunch of people before this. I think intense experiences are undervalued, and I think like just being single-minded for this long, like with this group of people, I'm just excited. I think we're just gonna accomplish things and get deep with each other and get deep with God, and something's gonna happen. Some cool stuff. So I'm just excited about the intensity of that, I guess.
I'm most excited about getting to spend 5 days with all the people I love, and yeah, just getting to like forget about school for a few days.
I think I'm really excited to talk to international students. I think that's going to be really fun. And I'm just really excited to do South by outreaches and kind of do some of the more like crazy ideas that we have. They're a little scary, but I think it'll be really fun. So
I'm excited about like hanging out with people and like resting and spending a lot of time just like experiencing rest from the semester with like awesome people that I'm really good friends with, you know, and just sharing life with them. But like that's the one thing I'm looking forward to most, but I don't think that's actually going to be the best part. I think the best part is God is just going to do some awesome things in my life, you know? So I'm like going into it expecting these great things, and I feel like he's going to give even better things than that, you know? So I guess like I'm most looking forward to the things I'm not expecting, if that makes sense, you know? I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm looking forward to.
I think I'm hoping to just really trust God more at the end of this. Not that I don't, but I think it's going to be a really easy place to grow because we're doing some pretty crazy things, I feel like, or some like stretching things. And so I'm going to really have to trust God that he's going to use me and that like he's going to show up when we ask him to. So I think I'm going to grow a lot in that area.
I'm most excited about being able to meet people in Austin that I've never met before and really just share the love of Christ with them.
I think I'm most excited about just really getting to know the people of Austin, because I think it's kind of easy to guess what the vibe of the city is, but I think there's more to it than that. I think there's more to the people here. I just really want to know where people are at spiritually, and like if, you know, Jesus is making an impact and if there's a revival going on, like, and I really want to just be part of it if it is.
I'm hoping to be more bold in my faith and just being able to obey and do things that I'm not always comfortable with or I'm nervous about. Just taking that step of faith and just doing whatever God says.
I really find it hard to talk to people in Austin, or just anywhere for that matter, about God. And so I really want to not be afraid of that anymore and to really step out of my shell and be able to just approach people like it's normal, because it's normal and it's the most important thing we can do is tell people about Jesus. So I really want to do that more and feel more comfortable about that.
Welcome.
Jesus, we just welcome you here, Lord. We welcome your presence here, God. We're just gathered here together to worship you, Jesus, to glorify you, God. You created us to glorify you, Jesus. Jesus, I just ask that you reveal new things in us as we worship you tonight. Yeah, you're doing a new thing in all of us, Jesus. So help us to see it. In your name, Jesus.
Hey everybody, we decided a theme for this mission trip would be breaking down barriers and walls. So as a symbol of that, I built this fort where I stay within myself. And I'm gonna tear it down. Yeah! Yeah! Oh, I just hit your body. No, I'm breaking down barriers. Yes! Alright, we're done.
Perfect.
Now I'm gonna build it.
I'm gonna build it back. Sunday night was the first night we went down to South by, and we had this idea to like wash people's feet, which I thought was kind of a crazy idea. I didn't think it would be very popular. Like, I just thought people would see us and be like, okay, no, that sounds weird, and leave. But we were like, okay, let's do it. And I was like, we're going to just go down there and try and do it, and we'll just have a backup plan. So if it flops, we'll try something else.
And so we just brought some warm water to the South by Southwest area on 6th Street or so. And we just said, freshen up, get your feet washed. And some people were like, ooh, gross, my feet are dirty, don't, or whatever. Some people were like, sure, let's do it.
Just a few minutes after we had set up, this guy and his friend come in, and he's just like, oh, what is this? This is crazy. So, of course, he sits down to get his feet washed. And so I'm down there on the ground washing his feet, and his friend has his iPhone out and is filming it. And so I'm talking with this guy. He was with a tech startup that it was some kind of video sharing thing. I didn't quite get all the details. But and he was just really excited about this. So he asks why I'm out here washing feet, and of course the only thing I can say is, well, because Jesus did it. And as soon as I start saying this, he says, no, into the camera. I'm like, oh, okay. So Cole and I were there, and we stand up and look at his friend, look straight into this guy's camera, and just start telling him about Jesus and how Jesus humbled himself and washed his disciples' feet, and we want to be like him and do that also. So just gave this quick spiel and then went back to feet washing. And I mean, he was just laughing and enjoying the whole thing. And then at the end, he's like, I just tweeted this to like 500 people. Like, awesome. That's the easiest and most people I've ever shared the gospel with. So that was cool.
The first night that we did it, it was just such a picture of what the gospel was. And it made it like real to me. It was like we could actually see like this is what Jesus experienced. Like people were mocking him, but at the same time, like the people that were open-hearted and like had hearts that were ready to receive him were the ones that would like come to him. And those are the kind of people that we got when we were washing people's feet. It wasn't like the really rich, stuck-up people or prideful people. It was just like people that were open and willing, and it was amazing. And this one man walked by and was like, oh, you don't want to wash my feet, they're too dirty. And Ryan goes, well, we didn't come to wash clean feet, we came to wash dirty feet. And I was just like, what? Like, that's the gospel, like that's Jesus. And I don't know, it was amazing. It was really amazing to see. So that was really cool.
I actually started crying when I first heard this testimony. Christian was telling it to us when we were having cookies. And him and I believe it was Tristan were washing the feet of this one black guy. And this kind of, at face value, doesn't seem like a big deal. Okay, it's 3 people that are humans, 2 of which are washing the feet of another human that just so happens to be black. Well, to the Nigerian man who saw this, it was quite a big deal. So, as they're washing the feet of this black man, this Nigerian person turns a corner and he encounters Christian, and he says something to the effect of, in Nigeria, this is impossible. Every time we think of a white person, it is to oppress us, it's to bring harm to us, to bring destruction to us. And you all are white men washing the feet of this black man, and this needs to be in Nigeria. And as someone who has a heart for Jews and Muslims, and particularly just everyone in the Middle East who so often has had this warped understanding of what it is to be Christian, and that it's a Western thing where it's a means by which the white man oppresses them. This spoke really, really hard to me, because the same story is in Nigeria. They see the West and they see these white Christians, and this is their false image of what the church is. And the fact that this Nigerian man got to see that, no, the church is the white man washing the feet of the black man. That the church is not about East or West, it's about the kingdom of God and bringing salvation and liberation to the masses. The fact that he got to see this just impacted me so much, and was so encouraging that the church is being viewed as the church, the beautiful bride of Christ, the one who comes forth and adores people with his love. And brings themselves down to their knees as he did, washing their feet of the gunk, washing their feet of the trash, of the filth and everything that holds them down, not only in terms of dirty feet, but dirty soul. And that he comes forth and he washes it clean and he washes it pure. And that we get to partake in that we get to show in this way that this is what he's done for us, and that this is what he does to everyone else. That it's not a question of white or black, Arab or Jew or anything of that nature. It's, do you want his love? And that's really all it is.
Yep. Yeah. And then I have a friend who used to be a part of our church, and then moved to Houston. And so she was in town for South by Southwest for work with a lot of her work friends who are all over the place, and most of them don't know Jesus. And she's waiting in line for something, and one of her work friends comes up to her, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, there's this group of people over there washing people's feet. Isn't that weird?" And Allie, who was my friend, she was like, "Oh my gosh, those must be my people." And she just knew. She was like, "Oh, that's like the college group, I bet." So she came and talked to us, and it was us, obviously. And it was just really cool just to be like, that is who we are. Like, that's what we're all about. And I want to be representing Jesus.
Yeah, and she sent me a message later telling me that it actually opened up opportunities for her coworkers to talk about Jesus, which was really cool.
But one thing God just kind of reaffirmed in my life was just the power he has to just change the atmosphere of a place and just open people up. I remember the night we went into Whole Foods, we went in there with a small group and we kind of split up to go and pray for people. And I was walking out with Kyle, and we didn't say anything initially, but everyone in the team was just realizing that this was a heavy place. There was just something going on that, like, everyone we talked to was closed off, and it was just really kind of discouraging and difficult.
We walked in and it just felt so heavy, and we were just walking around trying to pray for people, and every person we went up to ask to pray for it said no. We got rejected like 9-10 times, like every time, and people were said no. And so
but when we met up with the group later, we found that a few of them decided to start interceding.
And then Aaron and Shaniqua were like, well, we're just gonna like intercede for Whole Foods, and we're gonna like pray. And then right after they did that, like every person that we talked to received prayer, and we got to pray for like 5 people for like healings. They like had casts or like some kind of brace on, and it was amazing. It was like everything in Whole Foods just lifted.
Everyone we started talking to after that opened up and would let us pray for them, and so it was just a really cool sign of God being like, yes, you can pray and I will answer and open up doors for you.
It was really cool. So it was just the power of prayer, and it was something that I think you forget a lot, just how powerful it is, and it was just a really good reminder to have. So, yep.
The trip was really life-changing. It was really awesome just to encounter the Lord in a way that makes you step out of your comfort zone completely, and talk to people you don't know. It was fun. It was exciting. And it was a completely new experience, and that's always exciting because God is always new and different and exciting.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
I think something that I want to do just in everyday life, like all the time. Well, maybe not all the time, but I definitely want to wash people's feet. Or just that, having that heart of just like service and humility. Like, there's really something special about like kneeling before someone and washing their feet, and so I kind of want to bring at least that mentality just back with me. Also, yeah, just like the power of prayer, like it works, and it's just so encouraging for me to just see how it worked over the whole week. And so I think just like being really pumped about praying and just the power it has is something I want to bring back. So, yeah.
Sweet. Awesome. Okay.
On this trip, I learned a lot. It was good for me. I felt like God used me despite of myself, like despite my weakness or tiredness or anything else. It's like just a simple yes to God, and He uses me anyway. So
this is a great way to share love for the people of the city and for the students that I that I learned with in AUT. So yeah, the best experience I've had this semester.
It was so good just being around people that I could be totally honest with, you know, just kind of like, hey, this is what's affecting my heart, you know, like, please pray for me. And it was so great knowing that I can do that all the time with my friends. Like, I don't have to do it just on mission trips and whatnot.
The trip was gorgeous. The trip was more than I could have asked for. The trip was so amazing that I don't even know the crazy things that God is going to do next year. I can't fathom anything better than this. I could, but even still, I thought I had the best thing I could have thought of before this trip.
The trip was awesome. I would definitely say it was good. I know, like, going into it Friday night, I was kind of like, it's only 4 days. That's kind of weird for a spring break trip. But God was able to use, like, the 4 days, and yeah, just being able to come back and talk to people. And I was volunteering for one of my classes, doing, like, taxes for people. And it came up, like, that I went on a missions trip over spring break, and so I just got to share with her, like, which church I went to, and it was good, where it was like, hey, God's important to my life. Even you know, if I'm doing somebody's taxes, I can still reach out to them and, like, show them that, you know, He's real.
I think a big thing out of this trip for me that was cool was just seeing different people in our group having this revelation of, like, there are so many people on campus and just in Austin who are, like, really impacted when Jesus shows up. When it's like this is a genuine person sharing, like, out of a place of genuine love and care and everything for the city. Like, people are really impacted by that. And I think sometimes because we live here and we don't always have those like, glasses on looking for what God's doing, sometimes we become callous to our own place and where we live and our own campus. And so I think that was really exciting. Another thing to me was, like, I just want to, like, make sure that whenever, like, something, like, big is going on, that we're there and we're, like, representing Jesus there, because it was so cool. It was like, I feel like normally we don't make it intentional to, like, show up when, like, everyone's doing something. And so at South by Southwest, it's like, this is where everyone is. This is the heartbeat of the city. And if we just show up doing, like, anything, it's just going to be, like, the coolest thing going on in that environment, because that's who Jesus is. So I want to make sure we're more intentional about that in the future, like, looking for where is stuff happening, and then just show up there and bring God there.
Yeah, there was a pastor that came by the last night we were at South by, and he was like, "This is so awesome! I'm so glad you guys are doing this." And the thing he said was, you know, the issue downtown is not an alcohol problem; it's a worship problem. We're not worshiping Jesus in enough places in the city, and when you're down here worshiping, it changes things. And so I just want to remember that, be there.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
Doing what?
Singing as a line of more sound.
Oh no. So, it's okay. Everyone's gonna see soon.
What is Hope 242?
Hope has been such a family to me for the past 3 years, definitely.
Hope 242 to me is a group of people that I am close with, that knows me pretty well, that I know pretty well. It's a group of people committed to following Jesus with each other, committed to each other, I would say.
Hope 242 is a family, a community of my best friends, and a place where I just think people are able to grow and thrive and realize their potential as a person, and just be encouraged in that, and whatever that looks like. And hope you're found out, you're truly cared for every part of your life, and you're looked after. And I don't know, I feel like it's just a really safe and exciting place where God is moving every single day.
Hope 242 to me it's a spiritual family. It is a community where I've gotten to meet my closest friends. I've gotten to meet people who, in so many ways, I feel brotherly and sisterly affections for. It's the place where I've encountered the Spirit in the strongest of ways. It's the place where I've grown in my identity. It's definitely one of God's highlights in my life, I would have to say.
It's, oh man, Hope 242, they're my closest friends. They're like my family. They're just my best friends, you know, like I've never met people like this before, and they're just my best friends. Like I just love them so much.
Hope 242 changed my life. Hope 242 was like the first place I really encountered Jesus. I think Jesus works through this group in a really special, unique way. It's where my best friends are. Yeah, like, it's just like a community like no other. It's really special. There's just so much freedom to ask questions and to, you know, really get into the Word and really tell people that you're following Jesus and then have them hold you accountable to it. It's really special. It's a good place to be.
I mean, it's my community, and it's, I don't know, man. I mean, it's kind of like my family, sort of, in a way. But I think it's also just like a place to grow, especially like just in the Holy Spirit and evangelism and stuff. That's a place where I think I've grown a lot being in this group.
I guess to me, Hope 242 is different than other church groups I've been in that it's really based around knowing people, knowing each other, and being known. And that's just caused a lot of growth in my own life, because I feel like when we're known and when I'm known by people, that's an opportunity for grace to come in. Because the more known I am, the more the dirty and broken parts of me are known. And so then that's when we get to see grace. And I've experienced that so much more in this group than I have any other time in my life.
I guess Hope 242 is my community. They're the people I'm invested in and the people who I know are invested in me. They are the people I really think that God has sort of lined me up to be in community with and to experience Him with. Not necessarily exclusively, but I think they're my community.
Hope 242 is, I don't know. I guess it's just friends, you know? Like, I mean, it's a community, and like you could say it's a family and stuff, and I think those are all totally legitimate and good responses. But to me, it's just like friends, and you know, experiences of God through friendship. I think that's the best part. You know, like I love Friday Night Worship and I love Hope Group and all those things, but the best part is just like hanging out with my friends and experiencing God through that. So that's what it is to me. Is just friends, you know.
God is doing really big things in this city, and I think He's using groups like Hope 242 to get those things done. You know, you could spend any amount of time with this group of people, and you'll see instantly in their actions, in the way that they talk to one another, in the way that they love one another, that they love Jesus and they love people. And those are like two main ingredients. You know what I mean? If you love Jesus with all of who you are, with everything that you have, and you communicate that love to the people around you, that in itself will make big things happen, big changes that need to happen. And I think God has such a huge plan for Hope 242 and for these people individually. I just think Hope 242 is this really great place where God is preparing people, He's working in hearts, and He's making a difference in them so that they can make a difference in the rest of the world. I'm extremely grateful for Hope 242, and I cannot wait to see all the things God has in store for us.